When it comes to your finances, I'm here with the man in the know, Mr. Bruce Porter at the Resource Center. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
You know, through time we have talked about a lot of topics.
Yeah.
And there is outside of you, your team here, some people like to read. You have an excellent resource when it comes to so many things that we talk about here.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of publication here that you can take home and read, give you ideas, help you navigate this thing called inflation, recession, market volatility, whatever it may be. We've published some information about topics like that. That's pretty generic information, but it helps you get in the mindset of trying to understand how do I manage money during these volatile times that we're in.
They're excellent reference points, but the thing is, that's what you bring to people here, meeting face to face or turning the page of one of his books or publications. He'll cover a lot of topics.
Absolutely.
And we're going to cover one right now.
Well, today we're going to talk about this thing called inflation and how it's affecting people that are retired. You know, the bottom line is when you're on a fixed expense or a fixed income and you've got expenses, but you've also got other expenses, everyday expenses that are taking a bigger bite, energy, groceries, gasoline, things like that are fixed expenses. They're manageable. It's that unknown based on inflation and the effect that's having that's creating a lot of problems
the
with
X
people
factor
on
can
fixed.
jump up and bite you if you don't plan for it.
Well, the bottom line is you have to adjust your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So folks that haven't planned for the what ifs, you know, what if inflation or recession hits and I need to increase my income? Well, if you've set your investment accounts or you're planning up that didn't include something like that, you're kind of stuck. That means you have to sacrifice your lifestyle, your standard of living, in order to pay your bills.
Right.
Right? Now, fixed incomes have to stretch further to cover the same expenses because everything's getting higher. Pensions are often based on pre-inflation salary figures. So people that are stuck with a pension, it's a fixed amount of money for life or whatever it may be, whatever option. Well, that means if inflation goes up, and the cost of goods and services are 50, 75% higher than they were 20 years ago, and you retired 20 years ago, and you're stuck, your money's not going as far.
Absolutely. And that is sometimes, and you've been talking about, you have to plan for these kinds of things because your income is fixed. Expenses aren't always.
No, I mean, when we think about it, when you look at groceries alone, last year versus this year, astronomically higher.
And everything, I mean, they would talk about eggs, but it was kind of across the board.
It was across the board. Look at fuel. Fuel goes up, fuel goes down. Price. But when hard inflation numbers hit things that are like our grocery bill, does it ever seem to go back down?
Not that I recall. If it does, it's minuscule compared to the rise.
It goes up and it kind of stays the same.
Yeah.
And so I think we have to look at that because it's a devaluation of our money is what it is.
Yes.
Now, higher expenses introduce additional risk in retirement. Inflation is similar to high blood pressure. The effects are not really seen or felt until it's too late. So, you know, finding out that my money's not going to last me as long as I want it to or need it to is not the time when you're running out of money. You got to plan ahead of time for the what ifs. And again, I've talked a lot about planning.
Yes.
Your plan doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be a plan. A plan's got to be adjustable and changeable with changing economic times. So all of this practical stuff that we try to really evaluate and look at with people, there's a reason behind it.
Right.
And it's because we've lived through these types of situations. And so you've got to make sure that you can address the issues that are at hand. Now, fixed expenses, auto and home insurance, you'd be silly not to be shopping those types of fixed expenses. Insurance will probably double in the next 5 years. Are you prepared for that? Look at your auto insurance today, double it. And that may be what you're faced with in 5 years.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that affects you, but it would definitely affect me and all these other
You look
things.
at that, but there's the most important. Chat with a financial planner
Yeah.
right there. How do people, get your information?
There you go. There's QR code. Give us a call, 882-1800, or check that out. Check us out. Send us an email. Stop by the office. We always got the coffee on. We'll be glad to visit.
Bruce Porter, give him a call.